1, 2, 3, action. Okay, what is up guys? Fahan here with Za once again, and today we have Ash. So, I was first time I'm meeting Ash, and you must be wondering why he has his get up over here covering his identity. Well, he's actually a motovlogger, but he prefers to keep his identity a secret lah. And Ash, you care to tell us about yourself and your channel, and what do you do?
So hi, my name is Ash. I am a student in Ngee Ann Poly studying film and media studies. I'm basically, my YouTube channel is basically just me riding around Singapore, trying to vlog my first year riding on the road, because as you may know, I'm still a pre-plater, so I want to document like all the new things that are coming to my life, so that one day in the future when it's more like a more experience to the road, I can like look back and be like, that was me, like what was the first time how I react to first times of anything, like how do I go to the mall, or like where do I go in like this forest, you know, just like trying to.
I wish I recorded my first year of riding also.
Yeah, so
seriously.
So I decided to just record everything so that I can share this experience to other riders as well, so that because I know for a fact that when I started riding on the road, there's a lot of things that I didn't know what to do. So I wanted to share it with like other new riders that come into the scene, because some simple things like how to navigate, how to like refuel, like they might not know, and usually there's no tutorials for it because it seems very commonsensical, but then people might be like too shy to like ask around, so they might get nervous. So I decided to just like, you know, release more content related to this, so that I can help people who are new and like, you know, just be more beginner friendly for the community, the motorcycle community in Singapore, so that, you know, we have more people who ride motorcycles. The only downside with that is that the COE prices might go higher. But, yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna link the Ash channels in the description below. Sorry, pelat sikit lah. So anyway, this is Ash's machine, the KTM Duke 125, and Za, in Singapore you rarely see this on the road because from what I know, the 125 is only marketed mainly for the Indian market.
Yeah, it's true. This is actually meant to be made for the Indian market. But when it first introduced in Singapore, there was one time a lot of riders riding the KTM Duke 125. Then later on, when the bigger CC 150, 200 came in to the market, this slowly like phased out. You know, it seems like people are going for the higher option. I mean the bigger CC option.
I mean in Singapore, the 125cc probably wouldn't make sense because of our CC class. So before Ash actually gives his story about his KTM Duke 125, we're going to give a bit of intro about it.
Manufactured by Bajaj Auto for KTM, the KTM 125 Duke is primarily for the 125cc segment in India. It is nearly identical to the KTM 200 Duke. It is marketed as an entry-level KTM bike. Engine is 124.8cc liquid-cooled single-cylinder DOHC 4-valve with fuel injection and a 6-speed manual transmission. In Singapore, given that riders tend to choose the Duke 200, the KTM 125 Duke is an extremely rare sight.
So Ash, I understand that you've been riding this since October of 2020.
Yep.
And how is she so far treating you?
I would say he or she? It's a bit weird because originally the name was Chris, so it was a he. But then after that,
they went for operation.
Christina.
But then I decided
to Christina. Sorry, just continue.
No, that's true. I decided to change it to Christina because I was like, like a lot of people always put a female name on a bike, so I was like, okay, actually now, you know what, Christina.
I'm guilty of that.
So I need a girl to ride.
I want to ride on a girl, man. I'm not going to cut that out. No, I'm not going to cut it out. Just kidding. I mean, my bike is named Emelina anyway, and my previous bike is Hidayah, all named after Malay girls. I mean, Zaz's bike is also.
My Vespa was Eliza. Then my current bike is Sri Kandi Cintaku.
That's named after a song, by the way. So nothing wrong with naming our bikes. I mean, it's part
but my Gilera and my MP3, I don't know name.
Yeah, well, it's okay. I mean, his bike is a part of you, so by naming it, I feel as if it makes it more personal.
Yeah, true.
So why did you choose the KTM Duke 125 as your first bike? Just curious.
Okay, it's a very, very long story. Are you guys okay with this very long story?
No problem, we love to hear it.
Okay, so let's all start with before I even got the license. Okay, so
long before your
long before Long before I was born, you know, I'm just kidding. But so my brother, before I got my license, he had a KTM Duke 390, and I looked at it and I was like, oh my god, it looks freaking amazing. So I decided to do a research more on that bike, and I see that for the class 2B section there is the 125 and the 200cc version, right? And I realized that the angular look that I want, the new model, right, was not featured in like the Duke 200 model because they haven't updated yet. They only released the new the new look this year. The thing is, originally I wanted a KTM Duke 200 because in my mindset is like, why would I want a Duke 125? Because it's like, like I should maximize the amount of CC I can get for like a class for my class 2B, right? So I decided to research more, and when I realized that the model that I wanted, the angular look is like not available for the Duke 200, I just decided, okay, you know what, then might as well I just go with like the old model because the old model also still look good for me. So I decided, okay, then we'll just look for the Duke 200 with this look. So I found a listing on Carousel and I went to message the guy. So I asked all the basic questions, like how long the COE, like the bike got fault before, got any problem with it. And then he told me everything and I was like, okay. Then I told him, okay, let's go view the bike. So I went over to view the bike and that was at 9 p.m. So I went to view at 9 p.m. I waited for 1 hour. He was no show. I messaged him, where are you? Where are you? Like, I'm still here. But because I was very, how to say, excited and happy, right? I wasn't like very angry. I was just like excited to get a bike. So I waited for another hour, right?
Oh my god, he really
And
stood you up.
the guy still hasn't come back. And the thing is, I wasn't there alone. My sister was there, and we didn't have a transport. We had public transport as well. So we were there, right? And then I messaged him again, and I told him, okay, if you're not gonna come by, I'm just gonna go home. And he still hasn't replied. So I went home, and the next day I woke up. He messaged me, sorry bro, overtime, like I cannot come. So I was like, okay, never mind. Then let's just reschedule. So I rescheduled and I told him, okay, on Saturday we meet again. So on Saturday itself, I wake up to see a message, him saying, sorry bro, the bike is sold. So from what, then I was like so confused, and then that's when I realized, right, that he didn't want to sell the bike to me because he already had somebody to sell it to. He just wants to use me as a rebound buyer in case that guy backs out. So I was so heartbroken and like so demotivated, right? I told my friend, bro, I cannot find a bike, bro, but I want the Duke. He told me like, okay, this is not a 200, but this is a 125, and he showed me this listing for this bike. So I was like, you know what, 125, don't be greedy, just get it. So I went to go get it, and I looked at it, the price is good, the COE lasts for a year, and the reason why I thought everything was good, right, is because, right, even though the bike is 9 years old, if there's any major issue with the bike, it's only gonna last me 1 year. So if anything, I can just scrap it. You know, I don't have to like do anything with it. And then some more, if the bike is bad, I can just use the bike for about 1 year and then go for my class 2A and then just get a class 2A bike and then continue on from there. But if the bike is also still good, I can still renew CE for 5 years and then just scrap it after that 5 years. So there was a lot of things that are lining up that, you know, makes me want to buy this bike. So I messaged the guy on the day itself. I told him we can meet up at 9 p.m. and he said can. Then I go view the bike with my dad. Then the owner was super nice, you know. He immediately told me all the problems that he faced, right, and how he fixed it, and anything that any issues he will let me know. And he was super transparent about like anything that he faces. And I was like, bro, this guy is so trustworthy, is so nice. But then because back in my head, you know, got that previous seller, I a bit scared, right? So I was a bit skeptical. But then I told him, okay, I will go home and decide. And after that, when I went home, I told my family. They said, go for it, man. And I decided to go buy the bike. And when I went to go buy the bike, right, the previous owner fixed stuff for me that was already like that was having issues because he knows I was still new to the riding scene. So he didn't want me to have like any like problems when I was riding bike. So he fixed some of the issues with me for me first before he passed the bike down to me. So I have to say, like, that guy, like, I really have to thank him for like keeping this bike in such a good condition and then passing it down to me. I'll make sure I take care of this bike.
It's really in good condition, guys. It's clean.
The orange really pops out. Like it's very unique in Singapore. If you see like, what orange color one, then you like immediately know that's KTM one.
So, okay, you mentioned earlier on that this bike has another 1 year left, right?
Correct.
Right. So when it ends?
November of this year.
So after that, what bike are you getting?
I'm planning to get a KTM RC 200. I remember you guys did a review on it with
Sharul and Kai.
Yes.
Yes.
So I remember you guys did like a pair review, and I was like, oh my god, it looks so good, you know. And I was like really tempted to want to get it. Then I'm just like, okay, after this bike, I'm gonna get the KTM RC 200, man.
Also, you are now into KTM lah. KTM is already in your mind lah.
Yes. Even though people might say like, oh, the KTM brand is very expensive, you know, and like
Kuat telan minyak.
yeah, kuat dalam minyak, all the different issues that you might face with it, right? I still like the unique look to it. Like I don't know why, but I feel like I go for the looks more than the functionality for some reason.
I mean, KTM is a unique brand to begin with. They are not commonly seen on the streets. You must really know take care of it lah.
Yeah.
True.
And I think through that you will learn how to take care of the bike lah.
Yes, because from our previous interviews with KTM owners, they did mention that KTM is a bike that you need to have some form of technical knowledge and is more to the intermediate level, not a beginner kind of bike, because of the, you know, you must sayang the bike. There is certain issues with the bike that you must handle through an experienced mechanic, you know. We did have to caution new riders lah if they want to buy a KTM bike. Like the previous our videos, if you have watched our previous videos on KTM, they did advise, if you are going to buy a KTM bike, get somebody with experience, with knowledge of the KTM bikes to go along with you.
Performance of riding, have you encountered any issues or any problems? No.
Okay, so in terms of issues, right, engine-wise, everything runs smoothly, but in terms of like, I think the problem that I think a lot of KTM owners face is the speedometer, I think. Yeah, so for me, in my case, the issues that I faced was that the speedometer always states that oil pressure is low and the battery is also low. And the previous owner has mentioned it to me, and he has told me that every time he went to check with the mechanic, he always said that there was nothing wrong with it. It's just that the sensor has issues lah. So for me, I didn't see that as an issue. It's just that it's a constant threat in my mind. It's like, what if I'm riding then suddenly like something happened because of the battery or the oil pressure, then after that, like, you know, that just like scares me a bit, but I just like, you know, like, it's okay. God protect me. But other than that, right, another issue that I face, I wouldn't say it's because of the bike, right, it's just the tire lah, because the rim and the rubber part of the tire has a bit of a leakage, right? And it always leaked air, and I had to pump air into the freaking tire every 3 days.
I see. So you cannot avoid lah.
Yeah, this one cannot avoid. So what I did, right, was that I just tahan it for 1 month. Then that's where I was just like, you know what, cannot tahan already. I need to just get a new tire. So I just bought a new tire for like 100 plus.
I see.
So, yeah.
The issues automatically solved already lah.
Yeah, correct.
The tire is the one that's giving problems lah.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
So for yourself, how's the riding posture like? How's the handling like? Is it comfortable for you?
Oh my god, I have to say the riding posture was the weirdest thing for me to face, because basically the bottom half, right, the position is like a sports bike,
yes.
but then upper body, right, it's like you're riding a touring bike maybe. So the mix of them is very weird, because like the only other bike experience that I had was the Honda CB190R from the BBDC school, and that posture was really comfortable for me. And after I got this bike, right, suddenly everything felt weird, because for one, the seat is way higher. It's a bit hard for shorter people lah. Sorry ah. So you can see how the levers, right, they are like very short, right. In the CB190R, if I'm not wrong, the levers are a bit longer. So I realized that I had to like put my leg really close, and I had to lean forward a bit more. And I remember I almost fall down like the first time I used it, because I was not used to the posture yet. But after a while, right, after a while of getting used to the bike, the posture is like, how to say, it's really comfortable for me. But I think this is pretty standard for any other riders. But after a while of riding, you just get back pain because like you are sitting down for too long. It's not as painful as if you are riding a sports bike, but it's decent enough that it won't cause you long-term issue, I would say lah.
Given that it's 125cc, right? Do you feel like it's underpowered?
Oh my god, that is true, but also not true at the same time.
Oh, really?
Because if I'm not wrong, KTM Dukes, right, or like KTM in general, they are known to have like a very torquey power, right? So whenever I'm at the traffic junction, right, I will always be the first to go in terms of 2B bikes. In terms of 2B bikes, if 2A2 class 2, they will confirm chiong first. Yeah. But in terms of 2B bikes, I will be the first to go. But because it's a 125, the acceleration from like 70 to 90 is very slow, right? So after I go first, suddenly the rest all catch up already. So it's just like a bit malu because
It doesn't sustain lah.
Yeah.
You need to pick up. The launch is very good, but it doesn't sustain the acceleration.
correct. So like if I want to overtake somebody, right, it's really hard, and especially if I want to go to the rightmost lane, I'm usually very slow, so I feel very bad because the cars behind me will like just tailgate me. So I just decide to like, okay, I need to go to the left already. So it's just an issue that I face when I ride the bike. But in terms of like heavy traffic and everything, I would say it can handle pretty well. Like I lane split with this pretty comfortably, so I don't feel scared. I remember, like, I think this is pretty standard for everyone. Like your first few months of wanting to lane split, you're very scared, right?
Yes.
And I actually have a story about that. I tried lane splitting for my first week, right? And I faced an accident. Yeah.
This bike.
Yeah, this bike.
Wow.
And
What happened?
so basically, I was riding on the bike, right? And I was trying to lane split, and then what happened was that during this time I had a handguard. I can send a picture. So I had handguards that like widens the handlebar, right? And while I was riding, while trying to lane split, I was so scared, right, that I was like shaking a lot, right?
You nick window,
so,
mirror.
not window. So there were two lorries on the right side, right? I hit the back of the lorry on the right side, causing my handlebar to turn to the left and hit the lorry or to the left. And because of that, right, what happened was that my headlight broke. It costed like $200 to repair it.
Wow. Okay.
But thankfully the truck driver, right, he just looked at me, then he see it, he played, then he's like, "You okay or not?" Then after that he just chow. So he never like filed for any like insurance
Is it
thing.
company truck?
I think it's the company truck.
That's why lah. Company truck. Alah, some company one lah. Okay lah. If he's on truck, I think he will.
Go further.
One conversation.
Yeah.
How big is the fuel tank and how is the fuel consumption like?
Okay.
How far can you go on a full tank?
Okay, so in terms of the tank capacity, from what I heard, from what I researched, right, it's 10.2 liters. In terms of the total mileage and the fuel consumption, right, and the fuel economy, on paper, on Google, it will say that it will be 40 kilometers to 45 kilometers per liter. But for me, for my own experience, I've usually only got about 30 to 35 kilometers per liter. And the thing is, for me, when I ride, right, my riding style is that I would never go to reserve because I'm afraid I might run out of fuel or in the middle of expressway. So I've never touched reserve. So I can't say for sure how far you can go. For me, the furthest I've gone is that it's always 300 kilometers before I refuel. But even after 300 kilometers, right, there will still be more fuel left and haven't even touched the reserve tank yet. So I think in terms of the fuel economy, I think it's pretty good for this bike because if I'm not wrong, the lower the CC, the more mileage you can go, right? Because they like use less oil or something, right?
Yes,
Correct. Yeah. So I think that's why this bike can last longer distances. For me, like I whack a lot, so that's why like I tend to use fuel more faster. Like if you ride normally, right, and you don't like whack like me, right, then I'm pretty sure this bike can last at least like 400 kilometers before you have to refuel. Yeah.
I see.
So I think it's pretty good lah.
It's pretty good actually.
Okay. You know, Ash, you seem to be a very young rider. How old are you, right?
I am currently 19 years old.
19 years old. I think he's the youngest.
The youngest we've had
youngest
for the
you
show.
had.
Actually, my birthday just passed last month.
Happy birthday!
So technically I only 18 then I got my license, so it's like
So Chun, you reach 18 years old, you get your license, huh?
yeah, correct.
The MT-15, Rasul,
MT-15
how old was he?
He's 20.
20,
Yeah.
Oh, 18.
Yeah.
I speed run.
Then don't mind me asking, how's your experience like in riding school?
Oh, so in riding school,
Driving school, sorry.
sorry, I also see driving and riding, I mix them a lot when I talk. So in school, when I wanted to take my license, right, it was during COVID.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, how is it changing?
A lot of things are different. Like where you want to assemble is different. And you know lessons where we have to take with pillion, right? They skip that lesson entirely. So when I had to take a pillion with my friend, right, I was damn nervous because I never had a lesson with pillion before. So in terms of the lesson itself, I was very young and I'm very skinny. So I always failed a class before I passed the next lesson. So there was never a time where I passed first try until I reached like stage 4 and above. That's when I passed everything first try, including TP. I think I was very nervous because when I went there, I had no idea what was going on. I had no idea what am I supposed to go, what am I supposed to do. The only thing that I knew was that my sister dropped me off and say, okay, you go to the kiosk and say you want to book and go for a 2B license. And I was like, okay, so what do I do after that? And then I remember I just sat down at the computer because this is pre-COVID. So when I was like trying to, join. So I sat at the computer, right, and I was like, what am I supposed to do here? Am I supposed to do something here? But I didn't know what I was supposed to do. Only when I went home then I realized, oh, I'm supposed to book using the computer, like book a lesson using the computer. Then I'm like, and yeah, after that the lessons all were pretty, were pretty fun because like I had no idea how the motorcycle works because I didn't know what clutch mean, why the rear brake is at the bottom there and then the front brake at the back, because you know like bicycle both brakes are at the front, right? So I got confused with the left thing as a brake. So I got
Break.
That was the same when I transitioned to scooter also. So I thought scooter is like the clutch. This kind is a brake. Really, that happened to me. I was riding the X-Max.
I remember my first lesson, I dropped the bike because you need to learn how to push the bike right off the main stand, right? Oh yeah, that's also a thing. This bike don't have main stand. So I tried to push it out the main stand, but because I'm very weak and I didn't know how, I'm not used to how heavy a bike is, right? It dropped and I couldn't push it back up. My partner had to push it back up for me and I felt very demotivated, but at the same time, it made me want to improve myself and just like go and get the license and just like, you know what, if you really want this,
Go for it.
Because if you really want me, right, then you must like chase after me, you know.
But important thing,
because you know,
money must have.
I remember during pre-COVID, they actually had those knee pads and elbow pads that were disgusting because they keep reusing for all the lessons.
And then if you don't have your own helmet, you smell lah.
Oh my
You share the helmet. Oh lama.
the thing is, I use the school helmet and the school elbow guard and knee guard, and oh my god, I agree on you guys with the smell. Right, every time I had to take the helmet from the rack, right, I always touch it first, and if it's like freaking wet, right, I was just like, nope. I test every single helmet until I find a dry one.
So that happened also, the COVID also, they never changed lah.
No, COVID they still use, they still share the helmet. I don't mind sharing like the difference between the COVID and the pre-COVID experiences on BBDC. I actually already created a tutorial on my YouTube channel on how to take a 2B license during COVID. So if you are a new rider and you want to check it out, if you want to know how to get your license during COVID, you check it out.
He's shamelessly promoting his content on our channel. It's okay lah. We help each other lah. Just want to talk about the KTM 125 Duke design. There is no changes. Basically the same as the Duke 200, the older generation.
Correct.
With the exception of the label that says 125.
Correct.
But it's removed on this bike for some reason.
There's a reason why it's removed.
Why?
Because the previous owner, he had the tank design is black color. During that time, when it was passed down to the previous owner, the black cover was still there, right? But the issue was that his friend rode the bike and he got into a really bad accident. And then the previous owner had to change the tank cover. So this is not stock. This is a new tank cover.
I see.
But it suits the full orange look, so I like it.
So you are owner number
5. I'm the 5th owner of this bike.
In terms of accessories or modifications, have you done any?
Okay, because I still new to the riding, right, I'm very scared of touching anything that modifies like the bike speed or anything, because I scared LTA might catch me and then like I kena saman. Because I still student, I cannot afford anything, right? So I try not to touch anything that will boost the bike's performance, but more of just accessories. So all I did was just like change the grip, add a balancer and the clutch, the adjustable clutch levers.
So under your care, this is the only thing that you add?
Yeah. The only other thing that I changed is the headlight because of the accident and the tire because of the issue.
Okay.
It's all the previous owners on doing. Even the rack, the box.
Yes, the previous
Even
owner.
the crash guard
also.
Yes, everything is the previous owner do one. Everything was given to me like in a package already. Yeah.
Nice.
That's cool, man. That's cool.
It's cool. At least he give you like, how to say, not too bad lah.
Yeah.
Got box also. I mean rack, expensive, no?
Yeah.
100 plus.
Oh, so
Even this box also.
It's $200.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So the fact that he gave it to me I really like want to thank him for that lah.
Okay, basically we know that for smaller bikes the maintenance is much cheaper, right? So how often do you maintain your bike? What normally do you do? And where do you actually send?
Well, I know it's been 4 months, but I'm sure you can do its first servicing or something.
Yeah. So the thing about me is that even though I have a motorbike, right, I don't really ride very often. The only reasons why I ride is to go for school, which is only once a week, because I have HBL, which is home-based learning.
Okay.
And then I also go out to shoot my vlogs, or I go out to buy food, and that's it. I don't go out to
No
school.
No, go dating.
No.
I never go first then post, right?
No. Don't. But I basically only use this as a stress reliever. So I don't really have a lot of mileage on like how far I don't go very far with this bike. So I don't really have to service this bike too often. But my plan is to always service the bike for every 3 months, which is like standard, and also every 2,000 kilometers. I think a lot of bike owners do that as well, right? So that means that I've only serviced this bike once, which was last month, and the cost is about $50. So it's how to say? I heard that
What do you change? I mean, engine oil.
If I'm not wrong, it's like a package. So the mechanic that I go to, he has a package, right, where he will check everything and fix anything for $50.
Wow.
So he will check like, okay, engine oil he will obviously change. If there's any issues with like the oil pressure or the sensor or my tires, he will check. You know, all the basic issues that I might face, you know, whether my rear brake lights are working. So basically it's like for a full package for $50, I would say is good lah. There's no like one single thing where like, oh, engine oil this amount.
Engine oil, different price. Spark plug, you add a bit more. Something like that lah.
Yeah, so if for $50 I can change both for the same price lah.
Then whatever he feels that need to change, he just add on for you lah.
It's not feel like he will let me know like, okay, so your next servicing you should change your front or rear brake pads, for example. So in terms of the price, right, since it's a KTM, it's most probably gonna cost a bit more than your standard bikes. I know that if I'm not wrong, the servicing for like other bikes maybe cost about $30 ish. So I think for me, I don't mind paying more, because like if I truly love the bike, then money is not an issue.
So Ash, what's your best memory so far in your 4 months of ownership? You don't mind me asking.
Okay, my best memory is the fact that this bike has allowed me to create content for people to learn and also to enjoy. Because right now, like my social media pages, my TikTok, my YouTube channel, and my Instagram is like they are doing very well, and I have been like very happy for the past few months because of the success that I've been facing. And
I know that feeling too, man.
yeah, like if I didn't have this bike, right, I wouldn't have had like all these like memories that I have faced lah, like getting my first 10,000 followers or 1,000 followers on TikTok, for example. Like I'm just like super happy that I got this bike when it happened, and I decided to do videos when it came to me lah. And honestly, like a lot of things inspired me to start make videos, which is you, for example. You, and also like
Kau aku, nampak orang.
Who else are your biggest inspirations?
I would say Sharil B.
Shadow B, shout out to you, man. I have yet to contact you. Soon.
Yeah. So if it weren't for like all of you to like start make videos of like motorbike related stuff, I wouldn't have been able to experience this feeling and like create this like memory that I'll probably remember for the rest of my life.
Actually, to be frank with you, before we started doing this bike reviews, nobody was doing it.
Yeah. You were the first, and that was like it was like, how to say, like a major breakthrough.
Glad to be the pioneer lah.
Yeah.
Thanks for suggesting this.
You're welcome. Please come again.
And yeah, thankful lah. Maybe I'll transition to motovlogs in near future also.
Yeah, I mean, I also had some ideas in pipeline. We'll see about that.
For this bike, as a beginner, how would you feel if another beginner got this same, wanted this same bike also? What is your advice to them?
Okay, this is honestly speaking, don't get this bike. Honestly speaking, don't get this bike because you're much better off with the Duke 200, honestly speaking. Because everything in terms of the look, is the same.
Same, yeah, correct.
The only difference is the CC, and it gives you more power. And like honestly speaking, the only reason why you would get this bike, right, is because you like the look of it. But if that was to be the case, you might as well just get the old Duke 200 model as well. And if you wanted to get a Duke 125cc, you will probably only get the new 2017 model, the one that looked the same as the new 390 2017 model, or the Duke 200 with the new 2020 and the 2021 model. So
I see.
there's actually no reason why, I would say no lah, but I would say like there's better options out there in terms of KTM Duke bike. So if you want to get it, don't say I didn't warn you.
Okay, there's less than 1 year left.
Correct.
You don't plan to renew it lah.
Actually, there's a lot of ideas in my mind as to what I want to do with this bike. So, for example, between the August to November phase, when when the COE is about to end, I'll be looking for my bike that I want to get, which is the RC200, right? I'm hoping that by the time the COE for this bike ends, I will already have a RC200 to transfer to. And what will happen is that I'll pass this bike down to my older sister, and she will renew the COE for 5 years, and she will use this bike. Or I will pass this down, or I will sell this bike on Carousel. I will try my best not to scrap it because I want to keep it alive for as long as I can. Like for example, your Hidayah, you
know where she went to. Is sold to another, and I see the way that person treat her. I was like,
like you don't want to see it die.
Like,
you want to see it
like
stay alive.
I don't know, if I got enough money, I will tell you I'll save it also.
It's like because I remember I chat with you. It's like looking your ex. You had a relationship with your girl, then you break away with the ex. Then the ex suddenly looks good, better than before. Then suddenly you want to come back to her.
I have Emelina to play with now.
Push and pull lah. Yeah.
Okay lah, Ash. So thank you so much for doing this bike review with us. I wouldn't say it's a review lah. It's more of a chit-chat session lah. As with all the bike reviews that we do.
Correct.
Yeah,
I think it's all owners' experiences. It's not accurate. I mean, certain things we may get it wrong sometimes.
Yeah,
and we have
mean,
been flamed for that. It's okay.
But because we know that if you are looking for technical specifications, there's so many videos out there. But there's no video that actually shares owner's experience with the bike, how it handles, what it's good for, the problem with the bike. You know, most of the technical videos are talking about the specs.
And to each owner, to each bike, an owner definitely has a story behind it. Just like you, like you shared your story with your bike.
Yeah.
And that is certainly, I don't know if it's interesting for most of you, but to me it's interesting lah.
I like hearing stories.
I like hearing stories for bikes also. For me, the Duke 125, it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, exactly.
In my personal opinion, the 200 would be better. Faster pickup, faster acceleration.
True. I wouldn't get the 125 as well. I might as well get the 200.
Correct.
In Singapore, it doesn't make sense lah.
For example, the Duke 250 as well. There's no point in having it actually because like you might as well get the Duke 390 as well.
Okay, KTM Duke riders out there, if you have any information, experience or comments to share with us, put them in the comment section below.
And then any riders who want to review the bike with us, do get in touch with us on our social media pages below. And do check out Ash's channel also for his bike content that we're going to link below also.
Do like and share this video with your riding kakis, and don't forget to subscribe.
And that's it for the vlog. And once again, Ash, thank you. And we will see you in the next one.
Bye-bye.